Welcome. The difficulty level of this video is easy. Today I'm going to review another book in the Retro Futurism series, and we return to one of our favorite authors on this channel. And the third book of his that we're reviewing, and that is another Ray Kurzweil book titled Transcend, 9 Steps to Living Forever, jointly written by Ray Kurzweil and Terry Grossman. And I have the hardcover version. I purchased this in 2008, which is the year that the book was published in. Now, this book was only about 2.5 years after his seminal book, which was The Singularity is Near, which I've also reviewed, and you can see in the tile above. And there's a lot of repetition, but not entirely, because this book, Transcend, is more about how you, the reader, can learn to extend your lifespan substantially. And in this regard, the book is good in terms of tracking certain trends in biotechnology, how information technology helps medical advances, the value of living up to a certain calendar year, because then you get to a point where certain treatments might help you live longer than you would if you reach that same condition today, and generally trying to stay ahead of the curve of aging in relation to the advancement in longevity treatments. The book also contains a lot of recipes around superfoods and a lot of general advice that you already know, which is don't eat processed foods, don't eat deep fried foods, but there are superfoods and anti-aging foods that can help you look younger than you actually are. And so all that is good. This book is quite long, 452 pages, but if you get a hold of it and read through it, you might learn something that helps extend your lifespan a little bit, or at least, if nothing else, even get some recipes that enable you to incorporate certain superfoods into your diet. There's a whole section of recipes in this book, which is kind of funny. But remember, at the time of this book's publication, there was not really a big YouTube ecosystem, and people didn't have access to the amount of culinary instruction that exists on YouTube today. And people still had to read recipes from books, which are harder to follow than a video in the YouTube era. But you may still want to look at it for that reason. Now, the negative of a book like this, even though the mission is very admirable, is that Ray Kurzweil's predictions, especially on longevity, have been wrong. Part of the reason his predictions on computation and other non-longevity technologies have not been as accurate as he would have liked is because he overstated the rate of computational change and perhaps didn't understand how a paradigm can saturate and how computation doubles every 18 months, not every 12 months, which leads to a lot of his forecasts being about 1.5 times faster than they ought to be. In other words, in 1999, when he said something would happen in 20 years, it turns out that it will happen in 30 years. If he said something would happen in 10 years, it turns out it would happen more or less in 15 years. But above and beyond that, he has a fundamental flaw that a lot of people in the life extension longevity community happen to have, which is that there is an emotional component. They do tend to believe that they deserve to be immortal, whereas I have been very skeptical about the ability of technology to radically extend human lifespan. I believe there will be medical treatments that will enable a lot of people to live to be 100 years old, but a lot of that is also high-tech delivery of low-tech information. On YouTube today, you can find out a lot about how intermittent fasting helps you, or what type of superfoods have what type of health effect. And those are low-tech processes, but the information is widely disseminated through the high-tech medium of YouTube. And so it's mostly things like that, but there isn't some huge technological revolution in terms of curing cancer or other types of longevity-related improvements, such as even growing teeth from stem cells so that anyone who loses a tooth can get a new one. All those things have made virtually no progress in the last 20 years. And the other reason I'm skeptical of the longevity crowd's belief in life extension is that human immortality, or extending human lifespan to 150 years, say, is not essential for technological progress. One would have to assume that humans are the culmination of all evolution to believe that, and I don't think we are the culmination of all evolution. Ray Kurzweil himself says we aren't, in that human intelligence will merge with artificial intelligence, machine intelligence, to create super intelligence, of which humans are a fractional component. I believe that will happen as well, and that happens in a technological singularity, and I have videos about that as well. However, the notion that humans can just extend their life forever is something I'm very skeptical of, especially since in 1999, Ray Kurzweil said that by 2019, so 20 years in the future from his point of view, human life expectancy would be 120 by now. And is not. In fact, in the United States, human life expectancy has not improved at all since 1999. It is virtually exactly the same as it was since 1999. Yes, there's more information for very proactive and disciplined people to use to extend their life. And we do see wealthier people living a little bit longer than they used to 20 years ago, but on average, life expectancy has not risen at all. And it is certainly nowhere near 120 that Ray Kurzweil predicted it would be by now, by 2019, in fact. So for that reason, one has to be skeptical of what he says in terms of radical life extension. Ray Kurzweil himself is known for having been in an extreme regime of pills, maybe 250 different pharmaceuticals and supplements every day for many years. I don't know if he still does that or not, but he was kind of famous for doing that and having an extreme regimen based on reprogramming his own biochemistry and things like that. Well, he's still alive and seems to be doing well, so let's see how long he makes it until. I do, in fact, hope he makes it past 100, but I don't think that radical life extension and concepts like actuarial escape velocity, which is when life expectancy is rising faster than the calendar of time is itself progressing, I do not think that is happening anytime soon. So based on that, take a book like this with a grain of salt, but it does have important information that could help you incorporate anti-aging practices and foods into your diet and know what to look for in terms of the pillars of anti-aging technology. And we all want that to occur, obviously, but I'm skeptical of that occurring, as I mentioned before, and I don't think anyone should invest around the potential of that occurring. That's where you could end up in a lot of dead ends and end up losing a lot of your money in some investment opportunity, quote unquote, built around human immortality. So there you have it, Ray Kurzweil's Transcend. I encourage you to pick it up, certainly in ebook format. Now, if you like this type of content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.